welcome. I'm so excited to be here today with Robyn to talk to you about her transition out of education and into the corporate world. Hey, Robyn, how are you today?
I am so fantastic.
I am so excited for you to share your story. So tell everybody, what are you doing right now?
So I am a program manager in the lifelong learning department of HR for a large company, over 1,100 people in the US and also Mexico.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool. So what do you get to do? What's your day like?
Oh, it's so cool. I get to do IDPs, individual development plans, which are so cool. So anyone that wants to learn or grow within the company can contact me, and together we come up with their learning plan and their path. So that's super cool. I get to do internships, which is awesome. I remember the first time I got told I was going to do internships, I was like, oh my God, that's so cool. And I get to do the rotational program, which is also something that I was super excited about. So those are the three main things that I'm working on right now.
It sounds like there's a lot of what you did working in education, where you had individual plans, you helped students grow, and now you're doing this for adults.
Oh, it's amazing. And it's so fun sitting in the HR department because it is so much like teaching. And we have like the positive initiatives for the team members. And, we have all that just like that atmosphere of like, oh, we want to recognize when people are doing such a good job, like just like teaching. But I tell my husband all the time, I'm like, it's so funny because my job now is for people that want to grow and learn. Like they volunteer to like reach out to me and they're excited about it. They're interested in it, and that's like really different from teaching too.
So you're not dragging reluctant students along the way and forcing them to move forward. You're there with everybody who is looking to expand themselves.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
So what do you like best about being outside of teaching?
Okay, a lot of things really. I mean, I really did love teaching, but I love just like the little things. Like if I want to turn around and talk to the lady behind me for like 4 random minutes, I can just do that, and it's just like, and then we can both get back to work. Or like on Friday, I got back from a meeting. There's so many meetings. That's what's really funny about like teaching versus like corporate world.
There
Um,
are a lot of meetings in corporate.
Um,
Yes.
so I got back from a meeting and I discovered the whole HR department had ordered pizza for lunch. So we just like randomly had like a pizza lunch in our conference room. So like that's fun, but I think just, being able to stop what you're doing, just turn around and like talk for a second, or just like the flexibility of all that, the flexibility of coming in not at a set time and leaving not at a set time, just being like your own boss and being responsible for getting your work done. And people just trust you with that.
Yeah, that's awesome. You were talking to me off camera about the schedule and people coming in and work from home days and doctor's appointments. So how is that working out?
Oh, it's so wild. So coming from teaching, one of the first things I asked, because it didn't say in my offer letter, I'm like, well, what are my hours? And so the response was, oh, so and so just said come in, anytime between like 8 and 9. But honestly, like everyone in the office, I never know like where anyone is or when anyone's coming in. Some people come in at like 6 and like leave at 3, or I usually come in at 8:30 and leave maybe around 4:30. Like people just like come in when they need to and leave when they feel like they should. And then I asked about a doctor's appointment too. And I'm like, oh gosh, I have this doctor's appointment coming up. And I was like so stressed about it because I didn't know if I'd be able to take off, because I was just, going to be a new hire. And they're like, don't take sick days for your doctor's appointments, or like just go and then come to work. And I'm like, what is this place?
So it's changed up so much of your life.
It is. It's a whole new world. And I knew my goal was to go into corporate. I really, really, really wanted to. And I'm, so proud of myself that I did it. But yeah, it's just a whole new world. And I love it so far.
So what did you do before? So we know that you were in education, but what did you do before?
Yeah, so I was a theater major and I did 2 years of teaching kindergarten, and then I did 9 years of teaching elementary theater in Texas. So K through fourth grade elementary theater.
So what did it feel like in that job search? What was it like? What were your emotions as you were going through it? What was the process like?
Well, at first I didn't know what I was qualified to do. I had no clue. And, I was just on my resume listing, basically like what I was doing in the job. But I was pretty convinced, like after I met you on LinkedIn, I was like, okay, I want to work with Cindy. And I actually wasn't really applying before I met you. So after watching your modules, just like revamped all of the resumes and everything. But mostly in the back of my head, like a little birdie kept on saying, like, what are you qualified to do? Like you were an elementary theater teacher, and I didn't want to be like, YMCA like activities coordinator. Like I wanted a career. And
Right.
so, but you were always like, you're so qualified and you have so many skills. And I kept on thinking, I just need someone to take a chance on me. And I was doing all these interviews and I was getting, maybe all the way to the end for some of them and then not booking it. But I just stayed the course, like just stay the course and keep on doing it. Keep on being consistent, even through the holidays, because you had a video out that said stay, do it during the holidays. So I
Mhm.
applied for this job like November, December. But yeah, in my head, it was like, just stay the course. Like Cindy says, this is a formula that works and that I have skills that people want. And eventually someone's going to take a chance on me. And they did.
And just so everybody knows, you applied for this job November, December. You started working there in February. Today we're recording this right now. It's March, but you started working, in February,
Mhm.
right?
Right. And the cool thing about this job too, and I don't know if I told you, I actually interviewed for another job at this company, and the lady wrote me back to say, "I'm so sorry, we went with another person, but we have a different position that we think that you would even be better for, and we want you to interview for this if you'd like to." So that was like the coolest thing.
I know, right? Because I always encourage my clients, right? Even when you get a no, reach back out, be polite. There are so many opportunities out there available for you, and that worked for you absolutely, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, it didn't I wasn't thinking when I was interviewing, that some companies, your personality is really, really important. I remember you
Absolutely.
interviewed someone else and they said, when they interviewed, they said, we can teach you what you need to know, but we just want you, like as a person, like your work ethic, or, however they phrased it when you interviewed someone else. And that's how I felt with this company. I do have a lot to learn, but I did two personality tests with them. And there was something about me that they wanted. And they're like, we're going to take a chance on her because we want her. And it just felt really good.
And you knew it was the right fit, right? It all felt good as you're going in. That is just awesome. I'm so happy for you. I'm
Oh,
so
thank you.
happy that I right. And the salary more.
Oh my gosh. So I had in my head what I wanted to make, and then I started looking for jobs I'm in Cleveland, and I'm like, I don't think this is going to happen. Like all these jobs that I'm seeing, they make less than I was teaching. And I'm like, well, I guess, maybe this is just going to be the way it is. So when I interviewed for this position, I had a figure in my head. I tried to do research, like how much it would be. And I'm like, I think this is what they're going to offer me. Just guessing, I guess. So when they offered me my salary, it was 20,000 more than I thought they were going to offer me. And it was just crazy. I'm like, holy, okay. Yes, it's a lot more than teaching.
Okay, yeah, and there are other benefits that are going to come along with that as well, right? There's retirement plans, there's bonuses, right?
Oh,
A lot of
yeah.
things that you also didn't get as a teacher.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and then yeah, I get a bonus, and that was in the offer letter, and I'm like, wow, what's this? And I'm already, I have a financial planner that I work with, and I worked with him when I moved up here to Ohio. But I was just so excited to tell him as well and be like, okay, now we've got something. So now let's start like planning like the circles, and like where is everything going to go? And so it was really exciting to meet with him too.
So this job is allowing you to better prepare yourself for the future and the rest of your life and for your family going forward.
Absolutely. And that's what kept me going because I'm like, this is, I want a job like this. Like, I'm like, I want this world. And that's why I just stayed consistent with all the applications and all the preparation and everything.
So what was the most impactful thing that you got out of us working together? How did I help you out?
Just because I would doubt myself or second guess myself or be like, well, I don't know, this person on this website says this, but this person says this. But just having someone like you be like, this is how you do this, and just like laying it out for me. Then I never had to second guess. It's like, this is how you do a resume. This is how you do a cover letter. This is how you interview. This is like, I just never had to second guess. I was like, okay, I'm going to do what Cindy says. Like, and I just loved it. I absolutely loved it because I didn't have to go to outside sources or ideas. I was like, I'm just going to do that, because obviously you're so successful. And
Thank you.
and I did. I was consistent with it.
And it worked out perfectly, right? And there was always so much availability, right? Like if you had a question, if you had something, that you were always able to reach out to me and get those responses.
Absolutely. Yeah, you were constantly saying like email me anytime or text me anytime. And I remember, when I told you I got this job and you're like, well, if you have any questions, like just text me. And I was like, well, that's so sweet, like even
Right,
after
to
I started
negotiate the
the job.
salaries or any of the stuff, starting the job.
Yeah.
So what is your advice for anybody who's looking to transition out of teaching or move to a different career or re-enter the workforce, make a pivot?
hmm to work with you, definitely.
Thank you.
I would say, obviously it is discouraging to get all the no's in your inbox, but you have, that nice Excel spreadsheet that, you can just keep track of how many you've applied for and how many yeses you're getting, how many interviews you're getting, and like just stay the course. I mean, it's discouraging. And as a theater major, I understand like rejection is like part of the process, but just stay the course and focus on those yeses and just prepare. I would prepare so much for the interviews. Like I would prepare so much.
Yes. Yes. That's a big one. People underprepare for interviews, right? Another client very recently said, I helped her get the job and watching the modules, the two modules I have in my program on interviewing, and she's like, wow, I used to think I prepared for interviews before, and I did not realize how underprepared I was for every interview I went on.
Yes, yeah. I mean, it takes a long time, it does, but gosh, it's just like you're just so much more calm when you anticipate the questions
Yes.
being asked and you know how you're going to frame your answers based on the company and the position you're applying for. Mhm.
Well spoken. Very well said. Well, I am so happy for you. I'm so excited for you. And it has just been a pleasure. I wish you so much success in your future.
Well, thank you. And I tell everyone about you.
Well,
So
thank you.
you sing
Actually,
your praises.
um, I'm currently working with one of your referrals.
Yay.
So
Another one in the
thank you,
works too.
thank you so much. I wish you the best. Bye bye.
Thank you, Cindy. Bye-bye.